So I received a comment that said, even in a big house, you would cry. It was meant to demean me, to put me down for my emotional instabilities. But it's accurate. It is absolutely accurate. If I was living in the biggest mansion in Hollywood, driving the biggest car, fucking the biggest dick, I would still have a lot of pain inside of me that couldn't be bought away or drove away or fucked away. Because that pain, my core is constantly churning pain, rising to escape with no real outlet. I'm damaged, and I'm not just damaged mentally, I'm damaged fundamentally. And there's only so many years that you can fix a person. And I know a lot of people don't believe that what happens to you as a baby is remembered or can affect you. That was an old belief, and it's now outdated. They now have evidence to suggest that even newborn babies are affected by things that happen to them in those first couple of hours, days, months, weeks. Okay. If you could just buy away pain, right? Money fixes everything. What happened to my aunt? See, she's got the big house, the big truck, the big husband. My uncle was a bigger guy. But she's still in big pain. Pain enough that she has to lash out at her mentally unwell niece for speaking the truth that she doesn't want to accept. Now, she had all of this money and all of these things and the big family and everything. Why would she care what her homeless niece has to say in some stupid little book that didn't even have any names? She cared because the things I was talking about were things that touched her on her core. Things that can't be bought away at any store with any price. She's hurting, and she only knows to lash out at the person that she believes is hurting her. The person telling the truth. And it's not her fault. But it's also not my fault. Let me see. If inner pain could be satiated with material possessions, no rich fucker would ever kill themselves or need drugs. But it happens all the time. If you had $1 million, why would you take your own life? Because there's a pain inside that can't be bought away with that money. Why would you need drugs? Because there's a pain inside that can't be shoved away or nulled away or numbed away by drugs. But you still try. Because you can afford it. Because you have the money. And once you have the money, you'll do anything you can to try to get rid of that inner pain that just gnaws. And people believe that money is all that they need. And then they get the money and they realize that the pain is still there. It's because what really makes a person is who they are, with or without money. If you're miserable inside, you're gonna be miserable even if you're rich. And instead of it being seen as that way, people see it as the burden of being rich. Well, you don't understand the burden of having money. No, but I understand the burden of having pain. And I know a lot of people also have that pain that they're ashamed to talk about. Because people want them to be ashamed to talk about it. So, what's so broken about me? Literally everything. I was born in a car. And my mom was hotboxing joints for the pain. So I was born stoned. When y'all come at me when you're dependent on marijuana, I was literally born with it in my system. If I'm going to be dependent on anything, that's going to be it. I was immediately taken from my mom by a firefighter and in a helicopter taken to the hospital. Soon after they let me go home, my mother just put me down in this old playpen that had, there were parts of it missing, like holes in it. Old 70s playpens, wood bottom, molded out. And she just left me there until my grandmother stopped by to see how the baby was doing and found that the baby had not been touched or fed. And there was a rat eating a hole in her leg. And she tried to talk to my mom, but my mom wouldn't answer her. She just stood at the window staring out. She was traumatized. God only knows what my dad did to her when she got home, because he told her not to go to the hospital. The plan was to have me at home because they were afraid that they would find the drugs in my mom's system and take me away. I was the problem, not the drugs. But I don't know how long I had been neglected in that playpen before my grandmother took me. But it was long enough, because I never felt any connection to my family. I never felt loved by them. I never felt wanted by them. And as a result, they never connected with me. And y'all can say, well, that's because you're a psychopath and you just can't have feelings. Maybe. Maybe I was just born broken. Or maybe the neglect in those first few days and then the decades of emotional abuse after helped to form that core of pain that fuels me. And I'm sorry that I can't cry it out or scream it out. I'm sorry that I can't buy it away. I didn't create it. And the people that did create it are dead. And even if they were alive, they wouldn't care about fixing it. So yes, even in a big house with everything possible, I would still be in a lot of pain. The only thing that can solve that is love. Somebody would have to love me enough that I could love them. And that's likely never going to happen, because once you're broken for so long, people give up trying. People give up on you, and eventually you give up on yourself. And you just stop living and start waiting to die. And a lot of you might not understand this, but some of you might.